the Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristan Law, Summary Tide Pro Wrestling. Today, I'm your host. Well, we are back again for another episode talking about WWE Unreal. We are up to episode 4. Episode 4 of season 2 of WWE Unreal is called Performance Art. It's not called storytelling. It's not called sports entertainment. It's called performance art. And I don't think that's accidental. I think that's straight up branding that the WWE used in there. You know, whether it be accidental or purposeful, I don't know if that's a real word. But when WWE uses that phrase, performance art, they're telling us how they want the entire product to be interpreted, at least in that episode alone of WWE Unreal. That episode, season 2, episode 4 of WWE Unreal, it's not about convincing the critics, the haters, that they have to watch WWE. I always say watch everything. Watch everything. If you like wrestling, find what you watch, find something to watch, whatever you like, just keep coming back. This episode isn't really too much about explaining kayfabe. This is WWE pretty much just saying, stop trying to decode. Stop trying to figure out what we're doing and just feel it. Episode 3 of Unreal, it showed us the plan. Episode 4, it showed us how to do that. A plan that is supposed to be experienced. The cleanest example of that philosophy is the way that they went into SummerSlam. We don't really get into SummerSlam yet. We touch SummerSlam, but we don't get to go there. We've got one more episode of WWE Unreal. Of course, I've said this before. I could have watched the whole entire thing. I've watched the first 4 episodes. I was like, let me just do a individual. I want to do 5 separate episodes, giving each episode of Unreal its own place to breathe. That episode of WWE Unreal is WWE pulling the curtain back furthest. But while they pull the curtain back, they're still controlling the light. The Seth Rollins injury angle storyline, that was protected like all the spices that go into KFC chicken. That storyline with Seth Rollins, the injury angle, the injury storyline, it was protected like the top, like Coca-Cola, the recipe for Coca-Cola. Because if the audience really knew, if we knew that Seth Rollins wasn't really hurt, I promise you that SummerSlam 2025 wouldn't really hit the same. You see, that episode of Unreal, WWE Unreal, it shows 3 things. 3 things. It shows that surprise is sacred in pro wrestling. Secrecy is strategic. And trust at the top matters. Looking at that episode, for me, it felt very collaborative, but hierarchical, meaning that not everybody gets the whole script. It's on a need to know. And I think that's the point. Creative here is both risk and control, because they're telling a major lie publicly. How dare the WWE come out there and tell a major lie publicly? It's 2026. WWE is not even really too tough. Pro wrestling isn't really even telling you too tough that pro wrestling is a work, that it's performance art. WWE is not trying to tell you that, because I think by WWE trying to tell the audience that pro wrestling is scripted, that the finishes are scripted, that some of the wrestlers in the ring actually really love each other, I think that would be them insulting the intelligence of the audience. So what do they do instead? They take a storyline with somebody being hurt, like Seth Rollins, and what they made us do was believe publicly that it was real. They said that Seth Rollins was, at the medical facility, and he's getting ready to go here to go get checked out for his knee and stuff like that. But here's the thing. We never seen a picture We never seen Seth Rollins walk into a rehab a day in his life. We never seen Seth Rollins walk into a doctor's office a day in his life. But here is the thing. When you look at regular television, I'm talking about, we're going to pick Law and Order SVU. If somebody's hurt in Law and Order SVU, you don't go, you know what? Let me call the NYPD and see if Detective Stabler is really hurt. Let me see if Detective Benson is really hurt. Because you know that they're playing a character. That's the thing that kind of gets me upset when it comes to people that don't really understand pro wrestling and some of the fans of pro wrestling. Like at the end of the day, it's still a show. But pro wrestling is different because it's on the line of being a show and being a real sport. Because when you watch a pro wrestling show and they're purporting that this is the debut, the first time that public eyes have ever seen this show, you always assume that it's happening now. When WWE is live, they tell you, hey, it's live and it's happening now. When it's not live, they don't tell you that it's not live. They don't ever mention that it's not live. How will you know it's not live? You look in the corner and you see the bug in the corner. That's a bug. You'll see the bug in the corner and you'll see that it won't say live. That is how you will know. But you always assume that your pro wrestling is live. WWE told us the biggest lie that they've ever told us. WWE told us the biggest lie in pro wrestling history since they told us that Undertaker and Kane were really brothers. Since they told us that pro wrestling was a legitimate sport. There's a lot of athleticism in pro wrestling. I'm telling you this as a semi-retired pro wrestler. But I think that Seth Rollins being injured going into SummerSlam 2025 was amazing. Because there's always that question in the back of your mind. What if? What if he really isn't hurt? Because I was there in attendance at SummerSlam 2025. I was there in attendance. And I could not understand how we can go. Like, you know what, there's just a little moment. A moment that we just might see Seth Rollins. And what happened? We got that moment. WWE told us that lie publicly. Let me tell you something. I said this before. Every time I talk about SummerSlam 2025, I went to both nights in MetLife Stadium. When Seth Rollins came out, the building shook. There was 3 occasions that MetLife Stadium shook. When Roman Reigns came out with the tag match with Jey Uso. When Brock Lesnar came out at the end of night 2, and Seth Rollins, when he came out at the end of night 1, the building shook. That building would have never shook that third time that I mentioned if we all knew that Seth Rollins wasn't really injured. We needed to believe that. We needed to be like, well, you know, we're not sure. And I think those are the things that makes pro wrestling a little bit better. Because WWE was in control because they decide when the truth is revealed. Right now, right, this is one of the many whodunits that we've got in WWE so far in the past year, 2 years, right? Right now, we got a whodunit, we got a mystery, right? And mysteries make people feel intrigued. That's the thing about YouTube, right? When you are doing YouTube, it's all about taking your audience on a curiosity loop. Making them curious enough just to come back to see if their questions get answered, right? When I'm doing the Tristan Law Show, part of the curiosity is like, you know what? Let me see what this guy thought about this WWE Unreal episode. Maybe he thinks the same way that I do. Maybe he can get me to see something differently. But I always keep the chat open. You guys could start talking into the chat, asking questions and putting in your comments. But the thing is that you're curious to see, hey, I need to find out the answer to my question. The answer to your question when you came in here is, the name of the episode is You're Watching Wrestling Wrong. That's what the name of the episode is on YouTube. And we are going to explain how we are watching wrestling wrong, right? The other whodunit that they're doing right now on the WWE currently, even though we're talking about Unreal, the other whodunit, the mystery, they got another masked man running around. That could be a whole entire episode in itself. But then they also got the box. What's in the box? We saw the box on Monday Night Raw. I think that might be an episode that I might sneak out on Saturday, and we are going to discuss not only who's under the mask, but what's in the box. You see, when WWE hides something, they do it very carefully. It's telling you what matters most. And nowhere is that clearer than how they talk about SummerSlam itself. What's going on? I see Chris is in the chat. Chris Gallegos. Chris says that WWE is not wrestling anymore, but a joke. WWE is a soap opera full of drama. WWE is not sports entertainment. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chris, I feel that WWE, it is wrestling, but they do sports entertainment. They do the entertainment aspect first. If you are looking for a bona fide wrestling show to where you can just watch wrestling and just get good wrestling matches and nothing else in between, I recommend maybe check out your local independent pro wrestling show. Or maybe if you want to watch something mainstream, you can get that from TNA. TNA does that as well too, not so much, but AEW does that a lot. If anybody else, and I'm being respectful about what I'm going to say to AEW and WWE, to AEW and TNA, if they were doing the whole box gimmick right now, the box is there, it's just like, okay, well, I don't think they would handle it right. Right now, we got a masked man running around the WWE. I don't think that TNA or AEW would handle that right. Seth Rollins being hurt, I don't think that AEW or TNA would be able to handle that as well. Why? Because the wrestlers in the WWE, there's a lot of emotional investment in the wrestlers in the WWE. A lot. You see them on ESPN. Granted, they're in bed with ESPN. You see them on college. You see them on YouTube. There's a video right now with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. In case you didn't know, they're married.
Bing bang.
And what happens is that there's an episode with them together. The only thing that I've seen recently of an AEW talent on YouTube that wasn't an AEW sponsored show or whatever show, they got Playing Spades with Nick Cannon. I saw Mercedes Moné on there. Check it out. It's a good show, especially if you play spades. There's not enough emotional investment outside of wrestling, outside of the WWE and a lot of the WWE stars. So Seth Rollins being hurt and that storyline going on with him being hurt, I'm doing quotations for the audio-only version because you can't see it. It works better in the WWE because now everybody's talking about it. I see Stu's in the chat. What's going on, Stu? Stu says, I'm listening, but can't chat as much today. I got you in the background, though. LOL.
Thank you.
I appreciate all of you guys hanging out at 12 o'clock on a noon when I do the shows. It's only because of my regular job. It's only because of my regular job. I like doing shows in the evening because it gives us something to do at the end of the day. But I don't like to, one of the things that I don't like is I don't like competing with your family time, right? I don't like competing with WWE or other sports or other things like that. So I choose about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Somebody said to me yesterday, but you do 12 o'clock in the afternoon, everybody's at work. I said, right, but some people are at lunch. And while they're on lunch, they get a unique viewing experience because they get to participate live. If they choose, some people just like to watch or just put their phone down and listen. And you know what? I appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
But when you watch secondary, when you watch when it's not on, when you not live, when it's on demand, you get a second viewing experience as well too. And I appreciate all you guys watching or listening or however you do it. I appreciate you because we're all family here. We're growing. This channel is growing. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube, I'm going to rebrand the whole entire channel, the 830 Wrestling Network, because that's what it is. It's bigger than me at this point. You guys are a part of this network. Right? The Stews, the Marias, the Chris Gallegos, the Ugha from the UK, you know, Heel Vega, Universal, Fernando. So many of us, so many of you guys are a part of the show that if it wasn't for you guys, I'll just be talking to you. I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk with you. So I appreciate you guys being here for the ride. Share it. Share it on social media. Let everybody know. We got a new name. Never seen this name before. It's called Wing Swam Comer. We're going to call you Wing Swang. He said, I love Chad Gable.
Thank you.
Haven't seen Chad Gable in a while. I wonder where Chad Gable is. We are talking about today, season 2, episode 4 of WWE Unreal. We're breaking it down. Each episode's going to get its own independent place to live. We got a poll going on. Damn it, did it again. We got a survey. And in the survey it says, is WWE presenting wrestling as a sport or as art? Make sure you lock in your votes right now. Right now, some people say both. 80% of the audience say both, and 20% of the audience say it's just art. Nobody believes it's a sport, and nobody says that it's neither of the two. So yeah, I'm going to give you my final thoughts on that on the end. So make sure you guys keep voting, lock it in. That's the part of watching live. But going back to the episode of Unreal, SummerSlam isn't treated like a wrestling show. I think that SummerSlam is treated like a spectacle, like it should be. SummerSlam used to be called the biggest show of the summer. I mean, granted, there was no other pro wrestling show that was ever really, you know, as hot in the summer. You know, you got AEW, that's a hot, they have their hot summer show as well too. But WWE SummerSlam is the biggest show of the summer. Just like the biggest show of the spring is WrestleMania. And internally, SummerSlam, it's massive. SummerSlam isn't just a card. It's a platform to create multiple moments. And what WWE isn't showing you is how the moves are done. They're showing us how the moments are constructed, right? A lot of people in my industry, in pro wrestling, feel that WWE shouldn't be doing shows like Unreal because they're exposing the business. They're really not showing us how to do the moves. Even when you looked at, nobody had a problem with Tough Enough. Nobody had a problem with Tough Enough. Nobody had a problem with a problem with LFG, WWE show that comes on A&E. But everybody has a problem with WWE Unreal. WWE is not showing you in Unreal how the moves are done. If WWE was showing how the moves are done, I would like all my money back from Bubba Ray Dudley, Devon Dudley, and Nunzio. I don't think I'm going to get it back. You know, I could pee in one hand and wish in the other and see which one to fill up first. I'm not going to get the money back. But the point I'm trying to prove is that they're not really showing. They're showing you what makes them unique as a pro wrestling company. You're getting to see the business aspect behind the WWE, the creativity aspect. Like I said, WWE's not showing you how the moves are done in WWE Unreal. They're showing you how the moments are constructed. And that whole entire statement that I'm saying there, it means so much to me, even more because of this. As a wrestler, when I first started wrestling, I thought that moves meant everything. Don't get it wrong, you have to know how to do the moves, and you have to know how to do the moves safely. But for me, in my young wrestling brain, I thought that moves were everything, and that's what's going to make the people care about you. Hold on there, young blood. It's more to it. In order for the people to care about me as a wrestler, I had to start constructing moments. So when I was putting my matches together, right, I'd always think, well, how can we create a moment here? How can we create a moment there? Right? Because it's the moments that you're going through. You might not remember. I can't remember who said this. It might have been Maya Angelou. You might not remember what they said, but you'll always remember how they made you feel. And that's where the moments come in. The moments. When you look at your favorite movie, there are moments in there that make you feel a certain way. Look at your favorite wrestling match. I guarantee you that when you look at your favorite wrestling match, you cannot pick moment by moment in that wrestling. I mean, you can't pick move for move in that match. You can separate it by moments and say, yeah, that moment made me feel. But you can't go move for move. If you could, God bless you. God bless you. WWE Unreal is showing us how moments are constructed. So here's the real question. I'm asking you guys this. You guys are kind of quiet. I know that there's a lot of you guys watching live right now. And I know that there are going to be a handful of more people that are going to be listening to this or watching this after the live. So I want you to do, if you do nothing else, answer this question in the chat. Whether you're watching live or listening on demand, watching on demand, here's the question. Does seeing WWE Unreal enhance the magic, or does it kill the magic? That's the question I want to know. I'm going to give you guys a second to think about that, to see if anybody's not being shy. I need to get some think music, like Jeopardy. You know, I love me some Jeopardy. I need some think music. For me personally, as somebody that's been in the ring, as somebody who has wrestled a lot of people that you may know on TV or were on TV, for me personally, it enhances it because I've been in it. I respect the craft of pro wrestling. I understand the fundamentals of pro wrestling. And as a pro wrestler, I always wondered I can tell you how the local indie works. The local indie, it works great, right? The way that they work, it works, I understand that. But I always understood what made WWE tick. I didn't know that there was a stunt coordinator in the WWE. When you see videos of independent wrestling like GCW or Death Math Wrestling, and those people are jumping off of the balconies, there's no stunt coordinator making sure that they're okay. They're jumping off the balcony off their own free will. Because in the WWE, 9.9 times, no, I'm telling a lie. 10 out of 10 times in the WWE, there's somebody there that can handle you medically. There's some kind of doctor, some kind of medical. There's some kind of ambulance. In independent shows, there's no doctor or there's no ambulance. There's no nurse. There's nobody. It's not even a first aid kit because it costs extra money. It's an extra cost that they can't bear. I didn't know that there was a stunt coordinator in the WWE. Let's go to the chat. The question I asked, does seeing WWE Unreal, just seeing how they construct the moments, but not showing us the moves, does it enhance the magic or does it kill it? I explained how I felt. Let's see what the chat says. We got Austin Roberts here. Austin is here. Austin says for him, it's kind of both. I could respect that. Some people are just not interested in how the sausage is made. They just want the sausage. I'm the kind of guy that you know what? I love food. I've been working out, get my little muscles back, might start wrestling again. I don't know. but I love to eat. Always love to eat. And I don't want to watch you make my food because you might do something that's going to disgust me. I'm not going to eat. So I can understand when Austin Roberts says both. Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Stu says, I think it can enhance it. It might inspire people to join that industry or even do their homework on pro wrestling in general.
Thank you.
Stu, you know why I loved your comment? I'm not saying it like Austin's comment, but I loved your comment more because of this. When I used to be a manager at Walmart, working at Walmart, you just think you can come in and be a regular entry-level person that stocks shelves or ring people out. Then you can be a supervisor, and after being a supervisor, you become an assistant manager. Then you become a co-manager. They're like a senior manager, but they're not like the manager of the store. And then there's the store manager, and then you can go be like a market manager, and then be a district manager. Watching a show like WWE Unreal lets you know that you can be more than a wrestler. Watching WWE Unreal lets you know that you could be more than a referee. The way I used to explain it to people that worked at Walmart, my employees, people that I interacted with, was like this. You see all the digital displays around the store, the signs? Somebody had to edit that, probably use Photoshop. You see all of the merchandise in the store? They didn't just pop up here. Somebody had to figure out logistics. Somebody had to negotiate the price and figure out how to merchandise it in Walmart. The building that you're in, somebody had to buy that building. Somebody had to find the land for that building. So somebody watching WWE Unreal might say, oh, I didn't know they had a stunt coordinator. I love wrestling. I may not want to wrestle, but I could be a stunt coordinator. I could be a stagehand. I could be a doctor. I could be a nurse with the WWE. I could be a graphic design. WWE has social media people that are at these events, right? They're social media producers, and what they do is they produce content for social media. If you have not been watching WWE Vault, and I've been telling you guys to watch that since Jesus was a child, subscribe to them on YouTube. That's our official WWE channel. There's somebody sitting around uploading the videos. It's not like here on the Tristan Law Show, which will be 8:30 Wrestling Network in the future, where I'm doing all the work. You think that Triple H is really sitting there hitting the upload on YouTube? I don't think that Triple H knows how to edit video, or Triple H even knows how to upload something to YouTube. But there are people that work there that do that. So I like Stu's comment because Stu says that it can enhance it. It might inspire people to join that industry. There's more in pro wrestling than just being in the ring. That's why when I used to meet people that were starting their pro wrestling careers, one of the things that I would never say is like, well, you know what? This ain't for you. I would never tell that to somebody because that's somebody else's dream, right? You never know that somebody might just need a little motivation or just to get into better shape or whatever. They might just get it one day. But maybe they get into the pro wrestling business and realize, you know what? It's not for them. Maybe they want to be a podcaster, right? Maybe they learned so much about wrestling they can sit around and podcast about it. If I was not working the job that I work now, I'd be doing this and wrestling in the ring. But I can't. So how do I stay connected to pro wrestling? This way, with this channel. There's so many different jobs in pro wrestling. So many different jobs in pro wrestling. Austin's got another comment. Let's see what Austin says. Austin says, what I don't like, if two wrestlers are in a feud and post pictures together on social media, we know it's a work, but some levels of kayfabe should be checked, should be kept.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And the only reason I agree with that comment, Austin, is because I'm a wrestler. So one of the things that I always hated was that two wrestlers would be at a show and they'd be cutting. If you follow a pro wrestler on social media, on Facebook, you might see videos of them cutting promos on each other and, you know, posting things and talking and making fun of other wrestlers because they're trying to drum up interest in the match. But then after the match, you see a message that says, hey, you know, great match. It was a pleasure being with you in the ring. Like, yo, what are you doing? I understand what Austin means, right? Because people pay their money. We talked about what it was, how much money it was to go to to WrestleMania. Stu helped us figure that price out for Front Row in Section 8. It's $46,000. I don't think, and if there is, I might be wrong, I don't think there's any person in the sound of my voice that can afford a $46,000 ticket. Look, if you could, God bless you. If you could, holler at your boy. I would like to go to WrestleMania. But for $46,000, that shows that you've got some kind of money. Even if you bought a ticket for $200 to sit in the back, nobody wants to feel like they wasted their money. Nobody wants to feel like, some people just don't want to see the behind the scenes. There's a reason why you can watch Star Wars, or let's say Avatar, the movie Avatar. There's a reason why they don't show the behind the scenes at the same exact time, because sometimes we just want to suspend disbelief. Sometimes we just want to have for a second. When we suspend our disbelief, it allows us to escape our lives. Not saying that our lives are good or bad, but it allows us to escape our everyday lives. And for me, that's why I watch pro wrestling. There's a time that I was dealing with my little depression thing, and pro wrestling helped me escape. When I moved back to New York and didn't have any friend but one, pro wrestling was my friend. I want to watch pro wrestling to suspend disbelief. Austin seems like he's one of those people that wants to have disbelief suspended for him in pro wrestling too. So for him, yes, I can understand how he could feel when he sees a match. Oh my God, you see Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre, and right after the match, you see them bro hug. You go, you mother. Like, I know that y'all was just putting on a show. But come on. Can you just help me out just a little bit? One thing I did when I wrestled, and I always wrestled as a heel. Why? I don't know. Maybe because I feel like maybe I'm a really nice guy in real life, and that was an opportunity for me to be the person that I was suppressing the whole entire time. I don't know. I'm just talking junk. But I never came out doing intermission. If you go to an independent wrestling show, you'll get an intermission to where the wrestlers come out, you get to buy their merchandise, take pictures with them, get an autograph, whatever, interact with the wrestlers. For me, I never came out. Why? Because the second I opened my mouth, you're going to be like, oh, that's a real nice guy. That happened to me one time. I said, never again. I came out and somebody was there with his son and says, hey, good match, Tristan. I said, hey, thank you very much. And then the dad turns to his son and say, you see, I knew he was a nice guy. Ruined the whole entire thing for me. Now, don't get it wrong. Don't get it wrong. If I ever came out there and I interacted only with the kid or somebody that was special needs, I would always give them, they would never get the character if they were special needs or if they were a kid. But if you was an adult or you was a teenager or an older kid, I'm probably going to roast you. I'm going to roast you. And the older kids, the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old kids, maybe, 11-year-old kids, some of them still believe. So how dare I utilize my power to tell them that Santa is not real? Stu says, I don't think it's that bad though. It would be weird to see Seth and Punk in a photo together, but Cody and Roman wouldn't be that crazy.
Thank you.
I just don't want to see it, Stu, right after it happened. Not interested in that. Austin Roberts says, books and movies make you suspend disbelief. Bro, let me tell you something. The price of a movie these days, I just want to sit there sometimes and escape. That's why I love going to the movie theater. I just want to escape and eat popcorn. Love that popcorn. I go to the AMC. It could be a large popcorn, right? And I get the little box that you use to do as the takeaway tray. I pour half the popcorn in the box. I salt and I butter the middle. And I put the other popcorn back on top and salt and butter that bitch on the top. And then get me a big old drink and go sit down in the movie theater and mind my business for an hour and a half. 2 hours, depending on the movie. The last movie I saw was Sinners. Great movie. Let me tell you, didn't know it was a vampire movie. Scared the pants off of me. Austin Roberts says, what was your ring name? Oh, bro, that's so simple. Right here, Tristan Law. If you Google me these days, you'll probably find a lot of podcast things, but you could find videos of me wrestling on YouTube and stuff like that. I haven't had a match since July 2022 when I started my job that takes up a lot of my time. So yeah. Stu says, get that AMC Stubs pass.
Yeah!
Bruh, let me tell you something. Before the pandemic, I lived in the movie theater. I worked, my Walmart was next door to the mall, and it was on the way home, and I would stop in the movie theater every week. With the Stubs program, you're able to watch 3 movies a week. This isn't a plug for AMC Stubs. But you used to be able to watch 3 movies a week. And I would go in there and just randomly watch a movie. Randomly, just to see if it's good. Because if it wasn't great, you know what? I got my popcorn. I got my drink. Might have got a hot dog. Sausage. Meat in a bun. I might have got my popcorn, my drink, and some food.
Yeah!
And if the movie was terrible, hey, you know what? I got 2 more to watch. And then you know what? If I watch 3 terrible movies for that week, I go watch 3 more next week. I think the thing, though, in this day and age, since the pandemic, there's no really good movies to watch. I would just randomly show up in the movie theater and just go, you know what? I'm going to watch this today. And 9 times out of 10, I picked a good movie. So yeah, I'm definitely, I'm definitely a movie guy. I love movies. Back to the Future and Coming to America and Ghostbusters. I could watch those 3 movie genres all day long. And the Power Rangers movie. Oh, man, we could talk about movies all day long. That's a little get to know something about me. Austin Roberts says, oh, just your regular name. Tristan Law's not my real name.
Yeah!
It's a name that I use because it's associated with wrestling. And it's how most of my wrestling friends know me. If I probably use my real name, they might look at me and be like, who are you? So like I always say, there's 2 Tristans, right? There's the Tristan Law that you meet as a wrestler. There's the Tristan Law as a podcaster. And then there's the Tristan Law as like a regular person. When you see the podcaster guy, the guy that's talking to you on the microphone, looking at you in the camera right now in your eyes through his black and white glasses, these are my studio glasses. I'm a little bit of both. The wrestler side and the regular guy side. But when you meet me in the regular guy side, yo, I'm that dude where I'm like, yo, you want to go eat? Let's go eat because I love a good meal. Love a good meal. Or you just want to chop it up or just be like, one day there's going to be an opportunity where you guys are going to sit down with me and we're just going to talk. The Tristan Law Show is going to be live in person one day to where we could all sit down, maybe doing like a SummerSlam. And like you guys can talk, ask me questions. It's going to be a cool thing. One day it is coming. You know how that works? You guys help grow the channel. Get people to subscribe to the channel because when we get to 1,000, we're going to be running. Now, don't just get nobody. Just don't go get your grandmammy to subscribe. Because if grandmammy May's not going to watch, it don't make no sense. She needs to watch. We need people that are going to watch. People that are going to come in here at 12 o'clock noon and participate. People that are going to say, you know what, I can't watch it live. Oh, I'm so angry I can't watch it live. So they watch it later on. I'm looking for people that go, man, I can't catch this guy live because I have a regular job during the day. But you know what? I enjoy watching it after the fact. Grow the channel. One day we're all going to sit down and hang out. Austin says, love large popcorn with lots of butter.
Yeah!
Did you know that AMC does extra butter popcorn? Microwavable popcorn? So what you do? Oh, my mouth is watering. Hold on, Austin. So what you do is you pop the popcorn, right? And then what I do is I dump it into a bowl. And then it comes with a little butter packet. It's probably all kinds of chemicals in there, but that's not the point. And you put the little butter chemicals on top. And he put a little bit of salt on there. Oh, man, you can't tell me jack. AMC extra butter. It comes with 6 in the box, and it comes with 6 butter flavor packets. Oh, my God, you can't tell me nothing. Stu said, LAMO, meat in a bun. It's 4 now, Tristan. It got even better.
Yeah!
Austin Roberts said, oh, sorry, I thought that was your name. No, it is my name. Tristan Law is my name. It is my name. If you are... Tristan Law is my name. When somebody calls me Tristan Law, I know how you know me. If you call me by my regular name, I know how you know me. You know, so like, even if you happen to find my regular name, it's not hard. If you look for it, you might find it. You don't have to look. Just throw me a square. If you found my regular name, I'm like, look, you only know me as the Tristan guy. You don't know me in like regular real life. We're cool, but I'm Tristan to you guys. Like, I would always see Stu. If I saw Stu in real life, Stu would be Stu's Views. That'd be his name. Let's see. Austin Roberts says, I love food too. Hit that like and subscribe, everybody. All right, let's go ahead. We did a little Q&A session. Always a little Q&A session here, live on the Tristan Law Show, to where we do a little bit of back and forth talking. But we were talking about WWE Unreal, Season 2, Episode 4. And the question that I asked before was, does seeing the magic, the way that they do WWE Unreal, does it enhance the magic, or doesn't kill it, or does it kill it? For me, I said it enhances it because I've been in it. I respect the craft. For some fans, though, like we saw in the chat, for some it may feel like it's overexposed for them. That's just a little bit too much for them. But WWE isn't really explaining the trick. What they're really giving us, in my opinion, is a backstage tour. They're saying, hey, come along. I feel like in some episodes, in most episodes of WWE Unreal, they're holding our hands and they're escorting us and saying, hey, this is what we want you to see. Hey, come here, let me show you. It's a tour. It's a guided tour. And then in the end, we get the purest example of performance art in this entire episode. If pro wrestling is performance art, this match is the exhibit. What I'm talking about is the trust between performers, protection mechanisms, and emotional pacings. I'm talking about the Iyo Sky versus Rhea Ripley match that they showed there from Evolution. The stunt coordinator, that small minor detail of the guy, the brother, making sure that the wrestlers don't hit their heads when that Rhea Ripley wouldn't knock her head. Because look, if Rhea Ripley gets injured, not only does it hurt Rhea Ripley, it hurts the WWE, because then they got to figure out somebody else. There's always somebody waiting to be moved up. But now WWE can't make money off of her. That reinforces the art comparison, right? This wasn't framed as a who wins match, right? WWE doesn't really explain too much in Unreal why somebody wins. But what they're doing in WWE Unreal is they're explaining to us every single episode, how do we create something memorable? What happened is that they baked the pie, and the pie was so great. You know what? A couple months later, let's sit down and let them tell us exactly how we created certain moments in that pie. The balcony fight where they were fighting on the box, that's immersive storytelling, because it's not in the ring where the people that sit, not close to the ring get to be a part of. Now, those people that are sitting far back, they get to be a part of the show. They're a part of the canvas that is getting painted in that pro wrestling show. And here's what's powerful. Some of these matches, I'm not going to lie, watching WWE Unreal, some of these matches feel a lot better in this context than when they originally aired. Why? Because they're only showing you the greatest hits. I don't think that Iyo Sky and Rhea Ripley was match of the year, but just by watching those segments in WWE Unreal, where they gave us the best of the best, where it's kind of sped up just a little bit, I go, I feel a little bit better about this match. The episode before, when they did the Money in the Bank, the production of how they would do it, how they would show you one part in the ring without cutting the camera. And so they would show you one part, they'd move the camera, right? And then when they move the camera back, it's something else. And then when they move the camera to show you something else, they'd move the camera back, it was something else. And the cuts were there. That's a trick that I want to learn how to do, because it keeps it moving. You don't get to miss the action. You don't have to wait for them to climb the ladder. They cut all that BS out and just give you what you needed. The context of Iyo Sky and Rhea Ripley, the match was much better. That makes you want to go back and watch that match from Evolution. I'm like, did I miss something here? And maybe I did. Maybe I did. It's all about holding myself accountable. But because of how WWE positioned the matches and the moments that go into putting together a match, now you see the strokes of the brush on the canvas. But this episode doesn't just elevate moments, it reframes history too. When WWE calls something historic, it's also actually strategic, because Evolution wasn't just another show. Evolution was positioned as progress, validation, and responsibility. But here's the tension. Why did it take so long for us to get another WWE Evolution? Yes, it felt special, but it felt delayed. I am not one for the ladies having their own show, period. The reason why I'm not for the ladies having their own show, period, is because we want to integrate them with the men. I think that the ladies deserve just as much time as the men, but we're not running men-only shows. I want, if we could do something, give us an Evolution. Evolution should be on the calendar every single year. Let me know. Let me know what you think. For me, it was special. Evolution is special. Being a guy that was raised by a single mother, I think that ladies need a lot more credit than us men give them. A lot more. This isn't the WWE from 2012. This isn't the WWE of 2002, of 1996, of 1993, to where the women, if there were women wrestling there at the time, to where the women were not special. There are women out there putting on better matches than the men. That is on the independent wrestling scene. That is over there in TNA, over there in AEW, and way up top at WWE. There are women putting on some nights better matches than the men. When I was wrestling, I would wrestle, and I would come back, and I would tell the person standing at the curtain getting ready to come out, I would tell the two guys getting ready to come out, I would go, top that. Not as a cocky way, I guess now it could be seen as cocky, but for me, I saw that if I challenged you to go on there and do better than me, it didn't benefit me because I probably wasn't watching your match. Because I was trying to get dressed and get changed and whatnot. But what it would do is it would benefit the fan, because if I gave a good match, me and my partner, me and my team, me and my segment, my match was great, and your match was 1% better, and then the next match after that was 1% better, that's good for the fans. It gives them a reason to want to come back and spend their money. So this episode of WWE Unreal, it frames the women's wrestling as essential, as marketing, but still proving itself. And that duality is interesting. It's celebratory, but it's not corrective. And by this point, Unreal stops asking questions and starts guiding you. It's holding our hand. Episode 3 was about vision. Episode 4, it's about execution. This episode of Unreal, it felt confident. It still feels polished. They're only letting us see certain things, which is fine. I agree with that. But it feels less uncertain than earlier installments. Now WWE Unreal, like I said, it feels like a tour. Like WWE holding our hands and saying, come with me, kid. Let me show you why this works. WWE Unreal is akin to walking around Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. You know what? You've been eating the gobstoppers for so long. Let me come here and let me show you how this works. It's less introspective and more assertive when they do it that way. This isn't WWE asking for trust. It's WWE demonstrating what they are. So what was the most honest moment in an episode about art? The effort behind the Seth Rollins injury angle. Let's see what the chat's talking about. We're going back. We had a lot was happening. Stu says, yep, people know me as Stu, and that's not even close to my real name. Stu, so what's your real name then? Is it like Jacob? Don't answer that. Like I told you, if you ever come in here to the show, bro, you don't got to take off your mask. Just keep your mask on. Keep the gimmick alive, brother. Kayfabe. Austin says, it's cool to see bookers or writers' room. Yeah, I agree. Usually in an indie shows that I've worked at, it's usually one person that's like, yeah, it's to please them. But I like a team of collaborative minds together, because sometimes, the way that you think is one way, but somebody could come in here and say, hey, you might be thinking of this way, but what about this way? And then you can create a whole separate other moment. So yeah, I agree. Austin Roberts says that it was a good match. I think he's talking about the Iyo and Rhea Ripley match from Evolution. I guess I have to watch it again. Stu says that was actually my match of the year, Iyo versus Rhea with Naomi Cashin. I guess I have to watch that match again. You know what, guys? I'm going to do my homework. You guys can follow me at The Real Big Tris on Threads. That's where I am. And I will watch that match in the next day or two, and I will let you know what I think. You can even email me, TristanLawShowMedia@gmail.com. I'm the most accessible YouTube personality face wrestling guy out there. Email me. I want to hear from you. Austin says, I think my favorite match of 2025 was CM Punk versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Ooh, from WrestleMania. You know what? Austin, thank you so much.
Thank you.
One of the things that I said about that match last year when that match happened, or was going to happen, was that match had so many stakes going into it, and it wasn't a championship match. It was, well, who does Paul Heyman side with? Does he go with his old friend CM Punk? Does he go with the tribal chief who he's been recently with, Roman Reigns? Or does he go with the person that he's never been with before, that person being Seth Rollins? And I felt like, you know what? Seth was that guy. I could be wrong, but Seth was that guy. That's where he went to. So yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Stu says, Evolution should be an annual event. I was dying for a second one and glad we got it. So far, 2 for 2 for that show.
Yeah.
The women's roster is so much more deep now that they can definitely do it on a annual basis. There are some shows that are not 2 nights yet, like Royal Rumble. Make Revolution be a part of the Royal Rumble weekend. Have the Royal Rumble happen on Saturday and have Evolution happen on Sunday. Or Money in the Bank is only one night. Have it piggyback Money in the Bank. That's a possibility for that. So yeah. Austin Roberts says, I honestly think the women's division is better than the men's division right now. I agree.
Yeah.
But it also depends if you're watching Raw or SmackDown. A lot of people talk about Jordan Grace. I'm not Jordan Grace, my bad. A lot of people talk about Jade Cargill and her lack thereof title defenses. She hasn't had anybody really credible in front of her, but I think that her match between her and Jordan Grace from SmackDown last Friday, oh my God, chef's kiss. Make sure you guys lock your votes in. Is WWE presenting wrestling as a sport or as art? Right now, 85% of the audience says both. I'm going to let you know what I think in just a little bit. Stu says, agreed. That period in WWE from 2015 to 2017 was peak woman carrying WWE. Sasha versus Charlotte was one example, bruh. At the time, only on the top. Your top wrestlers were Charlotte, Bayley, Becky Lynch is still trying to find her way. You know, you had Sasha Banks, like you said, but now there's so much more. So much more. And Natalya, I'm so glad that she's not Natalya anymore and she's just Natty. She's just that person that she's running around in the indies being. And I'm happy for her. I want Natty to be the person that becomes the WWE champion in the next 12 months, because why not? Maybe she doesn't want the belt. I don't know. But Natty, in my opinion, Natalya Neidhart, the daughter of Jim the Anvil Neidhart, the aunt, the niece of Brett and Owen, the granddaughter of Stu. She is the niece of the British Bulldog. Aside from Bret Hart, we can all agree that Bret Hart is the most successful person in the Hart family, right? Can we? Can we? I think that Natty is right behind, and she just needs her time. Not her time to get better. I'm talking about her time to be on top. Because I know, I don't want to say I think, I know. The second that Natty gets that championship and they put her at the top to where she belongs, she's going to force it. She's going to be like a Charlotte Flair, to where she's going to force every single person underneath her to work just as damn hard. Look, I hate to have to say this, but Jade calls herself that bitch. Natty's that bitch as well, too.
Yeah!
Sorry for using cuss words so early. Sorry. Let's see. We had another chat here that I liked. I honestly think that the women's booked better. Agreed. Yep, we got that one. It would be cool to see Evolution as an annual event, not some Austin. Stu says, yeah, women's wrestling is definitely more interesting than the men's, and it's been that way for a long time. Yep.
Yeah!
Stu says that Bayley, Sasha, and Asuka carried the pandemic era in WWE.
Yeah!
Ding dong.
Bing bang.
Stu agrees with Austin. Stu says, actually, SmackDown has been good the past couple weeks, mainly due to Trick.
Yeah!
Team Canada.
Yeah!
Team Canada is one of my favorite groups in TNA as well, too. So the harshest, thank you guys so much for your comments. We're almost done here. Harshest truth reveals is that the effort behind the Seth Rollins injury angle, this is why pro wrestling still matters. Because when it hits where it matters most, and that's emotionally. When people are asking you, why do you still watch pro wrestling? Even though that pro wrestling, I'm going to say it. When people say, why do you watch pro wrestling? Even though pro wrestling is fake, you tell them simply because of this. Because WWE took a story with Seth Rollins and had us for a second believe that injuries happen in the WWE because it isn't an athletic competition. That injuries happened. And what they did was made us for a second doubt ourselves. That's why pro wrestling still matters. When WWE can... The best thing that you can do is work the boys, right? Yeah, working the fans is one thing, but working the boys, that's something different, right? And here's the biggest takeaway. When WWE blurs the line between sport and art intentionally, that tension is the product. Not pretending that it's real, not pretending that it's fake. What they're doing is living in the gray, living in the, you know what, just maybe this might be, something that's real. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But you know what? Just keep watching. Because at the end of the day, respectfully, it doesn't matter when Seth Rollins is going to come back. You know why? Because Seth Rollins is going to come back. It doesn't matter if Seth Rollins is really hurt or not, right? Because when Seth Rollins, we're trying to decide that, you know what? Just keep watching. If he's not hurt, we're going to find out soon. Does it really matter what is in the box that they showed on Raw that's getting ready to be shipped to SmackDown? Does it really matter who's underneath that mask? Not really. But it's sure as hell fun to talk about it. It's sure as hell fun to see if we can book it or for us to all sit here together collectively and say, you know what? This person is in the box because of X, Y, and Z reason. Or this is in the box. There's so many different things that could be in the box. And I really am thinking that we are going to do an episode about it. You know what? I might even open up the hotline and ask a question. I might ask you two questions. Who do you think is underneath? Who do you think is in the box? What do you think is in the box? Why do we have to think it's a person in the box? I don't know. We're going to find it out. Let's look at the poll. Damn it. The survey. Is WWE presenting wrestling as a sport or as an art? Nobody thinks that pro wrestling is being presented that WWE is being presented as a sport. 14% of the audience believe that it is art, and 14% also believe that it's neither. 71% believe that it's both. For me, what do I believe? I believe that WWE is not presenting itself as a sport, and it's not presenting itself as art. What it's doing is it's presenting itself as both. I see pro wrestling as a blank canvas, and you have artists there. Some artists, they draw really eloquently, and you go, wow, that's an amazing piece of artwork. This is pro wrestling as a whole. Some pro wrestling, when you look at that blank canvas and they paint on it, you go, what the hell did I just watch? There are some people that are painting on the canvas that they paint the picture, and what you're seeing is art, but it's really subjective. What does it mean? What does it mean? And now we get into a discussion here on the Tristan Law Show of what that piece of art means. In order for you to be a pro wrestler, do not let anybody bamboozle you, flim-flam you, or okey-doke you. Do not listen to what anybody is telling you that has never been in the pro wrestling business. Listen to me what I'm telling you. I couldn't dribble a basketball. I couldn't shoot because I either shoot too high or too low. I couldn't catch or throw a football, couldn't kick a soccer ball, and wasn't good at tennis. I have had zero athletic skill. It was never honed in me until I became an adult. Pro wrestling is super athletic. It's athletic physically and mentally, because it's a lot more than guys talking to each other in the back and going out there and doing what they talk to each other about. There was a time that I wrestled Jake the Snake's brother, Sam Houston. And I was so used to a style to where we talked about 75% of the match, and the other 25%, we went out there and made it up as we went along. When I wrestled Sam Houston, we only talked about 10% of the match. The other 90%, we went out there and made it up ourselves. Pro wrestling is very athletic. You have to be able to make your body do things that it wasn't designed to do. Put together a match, you've got to listen. You got to use all your senses. You got to listen to the crowd, see the crowd. You've got to be able to throw yourself down on the ground, pick yourself back up. It's athletic. You can't go into pro wrestling being a person that's not athletic. You might get hurt. Let's see. Let's go to the chat one last time. Austin says that, no, let's go with Stu first. Stu says that Bianca missing Mania is tragic. She just had surgery on her knuckle Sunday. Yeah, it's tragic. Tragic missing that WrestleMania money. Stu said the only sport thing about it is showing the wrestlers enter the arena and having a deal on ESPN. That's about it. Try it. Try it. When you run those ropes the first time, and then you have to drop down, get up, jump over your opponent. You know, when they come off the ropes, give them a kick in the gut, boom, shoot, reverse. Now you drop down again. Like, bro, that's athleticism. You got to be able to run, jump. You're pretty much jumping. You're doing, when I was young in wrestling, the thing that worked for me a lot was plyometrics. I would do a lot of plyometrics work. Why? Because it involved a lot of running and jumping. So, yeah. Austin says, I have zero athletic skills, but love sports and wrestlers.
Yeah!
Stu says, oh, by the way, I passed 200 subs yesterday, Tristan. Stay tuned. I got something for you dropping on there hopefully by Friday. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about everybody that creates content. This is going to be the last thing, and we're going to get out of here. I appreciate sitting in the room with people that create their own content. If you are watching this, if you are in the sound of my voice, and you always want to go ahead and create content, you always want to go do your own show about whatever it is that you want to talk about, go do it. Don't be one of those people that talked about, I'm going to do it. Be one of those people that do it. And Stu, you are one of those people that do it. I remember when you first came here, randomly. I think you found me doing Streamomania back in November. You've been a part of this family, a part of this ride since November of 2025. And I remember looking at your channel because every time, if your page, I'll let you guys know the secret right now. If your page is not private, when you subscribe, I go see what you do because I never know if it's a person I can collab with, or you know what? I might be looking for new videos to watch because I watch a poop ton of YouTube. I watch more YouTube than you can ever understand. You can't imagine. I don't have cable. I got rid of the cable. I just watch YouTube. I don't watch Netflix. I have Netflix. I don't watch Paramount Plus. I have Paramount Plus. I just watch YouTube all day long. So for you, Stu, to hit 200, that's a milestone. I can't wait till I hit 1,000 here on YouTube. I remember when I only had 43 almost 3-4 years ago. There's going to be a day that you're going to be talking to me, Stu, and you're going to be like, yo, bro, I got over 10,000 subscribers and I got a gold plaque. That's what we celebrate. That you talked about it and you decided to do it. Stu, you're my guy. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. Stu says, oh, no, I meant the presentation-wise, not the in-ring stuff. Okay. All right. You're forgiven.
Yeah!
Austin Roberts said, I love the show. Glad I found the channel. You know what, Austin? I'm glad that you're a part of the family as well, too. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to sit here and have these conversations. Be a part of the conversation. There's other people on YouTube right now to we can just go ahead and just watch. There's another set of people on YouTube to where they're doing a live show. But I'm not saying this to be okay, fine. I'm always a little bit too nice. Let Tristan Law, the wrestler, come out for a second. Ain't nobody on YouTube doing this like me. I try to make sure that I have a almost television broadcast sports style presentation. Because I understand that the majority of people that watch YouTube on their television. I'm not the only one that does. And I know that there's people that do. The only time I'm listening to YouTube on my iPad is when I'm probably working out on my bike or when I'm getting ready to take a shower. A little bit too much information for you guys. Or when I'm walking around in the street, I'm listening on my phone. That's how I operate. So yeah. So I'm glad that you found that. Stu says, I have a ton of shorts. I got to work on more of my long form content, but thank you.
Thank you!
Episode 1 of WWE Unreal, it showed us the grind. Episode 2, it showed us the cost. Episode 3, it showed us the plan. And episode 4, it showed us the payoff. This isn't WWE defending wrestling. It's WWE elevating wrestling. Performance art isn't about pretending. It's real. It's about making us feel something real. And episode 5 that we'll be doing next week, Wednesday here on the Tristan Law Show channel, which is eventually going to be the 8:30 Wrestling Network. Episode 5 will tell us whether all of it was worth it. Well, have you been watching wrestling wrong? Have I changed the way that you watch wrestling? Everybody that watched in the background today and didn't comment, thank you so much. Stu and Austin, thank you so much. Chris Gallegos, thank you for being here in the beginning. Hey, make sure you guys follow me on social media at The Real Big Tris. Make sure that you guys share this, like it, subscribe it, let your friends know. I'm Tristan Law. This is the Tristan Law Show, and I'll see you next time.
Flashing red lights, driving at night.